Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Abraham Mohammed, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvolt, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Uncut, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Owen Jennisons, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Henrik86, Jaronism, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Liam Nedrick, Life is Short, Matt, Missouri Bear, Nagara, Nathan Thompson, who's the latest Patreon. Thank you very much for joining us, Nathan Thompson on Patreon. Naibai, Qatar Craig, Renee, Sally Ballis, Silver Umbrella, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, The Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock app, theflatearthchannel.com, The Real Gabster, Tina Baker, Tom Herkins, and Windrider. So a massive shout out of appreciation to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Really is appreciated. Now, I believe we are actually joined by a couple of people in Discord and G+, so if I can actually raise the mic on them, I'll see if we can get any conversation going.
Well, we had the globe die on Saturday. That started it off. And we had the ballers tell us that 1 foot isn't 1 foot, and that picture can't be real.
So the usual.
Yeah, it's amazing. The ones from the violation of natural law are real, but not the ones that anyone could go to the beach and do on their own. They're not real.
Yeah, it's just dishonest. If you're a flat earther, it's dishonest.
Oh, I'm gonna cut their skin and pour salt in it today if they come. Just ridiculous. It's so obvious. They can handle the ramifications of the findings. I think we're going to have to hire a team of midgets just to prove that we're not over 1 feet high.
well, I have been called a hobbit before.
They're going to have some people on their belly and never get off their belly. You know, we just take them to the beach and say, okay, get on your belly, do everything on your belly. We'll video it, and there's no way they can say you cheated.
Yeah, I mean, my observations I made were all on my belly, so not even 10 centimeters high. So I'm busy with those videos at the moment.
Well, then in that case, they're always short videos, right?
Problem is the 1 minute video I took on there is like 500 megabytes big. So I have to first convert it to make it smaller just so I can use it first.
Yeah. See, there you go. You did all those nice shots on your vacation, and then they're going to say, no, you weren't on your vacation. You didn't do it from that height. We don't believe you. Oh, Stanek was especially special. I was hoping he'd come on, and he didn't disappoint.
Say more?
Yeah, he said there's no way that's proving what you're saying. And obviously what we were showing was at a 1 foot observer height, given the radius of the Earth at 3,959 miles, the furthest the horizon should be is 1.22 miles. And of course, we were seeing in the pictures close to 10 miles and 7 miles with the two platforms. And you can see the horizons even past the second platform, so well over 10 miles. He's saying, no, they can't be. So when challenged, after he said it can't be, he says, well, where's the picture? He says, so he hadn't even looked at it. So he made a statement without looking at it. And then when he went and looked at it, he saw it. And first he said, no, the horizon's not there. And then later, after looking at the picture, he said, okay, it is there. It was like, what the?
Yeah, but don't worry. Last night I was trying to explain to the Globers what the edge of the sphere is. They just don't understand that they have an edge of a sphere with a horizon.
Well, walk me through it. What'd they say?
Apparently, a horizon to them is not an edge of a sphere.
What
We're
is
just
it?
making it up. We're just making it up.
Well, what is it?
To them, it's just a horizon. That's it. No further.
Is it a real place, or is it apparent? And does it move as you move towards it? I mean, is it? What is
To
it?
them, it's a real place, but not an edge.
Well, if it's real, and on the other side is the other part of a curve, if you live on the ball, call it something that we can all agree on. If it's not an edge, what would they call it?
That's it. They just stop there. They don't go further.
Huh.
You know, the cognitive dissonance kicks in really well.
Now they're just lying now, because you have absolute photographic proof that they could go do themselves. Look, there's a reason why all those NASA manuals and aerospace company manuals say all of our technical assessments, really how things work, the math, the whole thing, is done over a non-rotating flat Earth. There's a reason why they're saying that.
Yes, because it's flat. It can only work on a flat. It can only work on a flat non-rotational Earth.
Exactly. And so when you look at celestial navigation, they fool you with a celestial sphere, a bigger transparent ball with all the stars and everything inside of it, and then the Earth in the middle. Just look it up, celestial sphere. You'll see how they're trying to trick us. And they're saying that you have to take the sighting from the star all the way to the center of the Earth, like with a line, almost like a North Pole to the South Pole, except you're starting from the star. You follow?
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. So then after they say that, they said the only way it works is if you flatten this and make it flat. Well, why
Really?
didn't you just start there instead of making two balls, one housing the stars, and then in the middle of that big sphere, put the Earth, and then only to find out the only way it works is if you make the whole thing flat.
Yeah,
Watch
but
the
doesn't it?
videos. It's
Doesn't it?
ridiculous.
Yeah, but doesn't it click to them that, I mean, if it was really how it's supposed to be, you wouldn't have to make it flat, because then it would automatically just work.
Well, that's what because our eyes are opened to the imagery. The imagery gets you to beg the question because look all the years of programming, right? So they
Yeah.
see the years of programming differently than the way we see the years of programming. We see it with, hey, I know their trick. They see it, see, there it is. And then when their fellow man, tries to point it out, we're the enemy. Why are we the
Yeah.
enemy?
Yeah, because you've been trained to think a certain way.
But look, if I'm wrong, then it's round. And if you're wrong, it's flat. But let's investigate it without all the hostility of this and that and look at the scientific method and was it ever used for anything? Well, we're finding out that it wasn't. It's mostly pseudoscience. And then let's see if any of their claims violates natural law. Well, it does. Well, at this point, it's not ego or pride. It's a very objective truth.
Yeah.
Some will, some won't. So what? Next.
I don't know if you've checked that link I put up yesterday about the
What's
history
that?
of geocentrism.
No, I didn't. I'll look at it.
It's quite an interesting read. We actually do have a flat Earth model that predicts, as they say, we don't.
Okay. Is it up, Master B?
Yeah. Try to find it and post it again if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll get to it after the show, probably after my work. Righteous, did you catch that show on Saturday?
No, I kind of stayed out of it. I was focusing on Christian stuff.
But did you go listen to it again?
No, I was thinking of doing it later, but I'm not sure.
Oh, it's worth it.
Like, I
It's worth
definitely
it.
got to check out what Taboo showed about the horizon being really far.
Oh, you got to go listen to it. I've listened to it twice. I'm gonna go listen to it for a third time. It
Oh.
really is that good.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
you're gonna have your arguments well rounded and seasoned on this, at least on this topic.
well. If you guys didn't get any proper rebuttals to it, maybe I need to watch it and then talk with the Pollers about it, see what they say, push them on it.
Yeah, that's the point. We were waiting for them to give us a proper, as you say, rebuttal. And when the few, I can't even say more than two. I'm not sure if two came out. Zanuck for sure. And it was like, no, come on, give us something stronger.
Well, at least Sonic is good for trying.
No, he didn't even try. He
didn't?
outright. I mean, Chocolate basically said, "You're being overtly dishonest right now. I can't believe how dishonest you are." That's how bad it was for Zanuck.
Yeah, well, Zanuck likes to ignore the facts, though.
Yeah. Well, he's almost like a paid agent. You know, he'll come in and everyone knows the color they're looking at is blue, and he'll come in and start saying it's red. And no matter how many people say it's blue, it's red to him.
What's up, Righteous?
Hey, Redman. Not much, just getting the bread maker ready. And listening to my cat meowing for food.
Do you work from home, Righteous? Hi, Ranty.
What's that?
Great
Ranty.
video, Ranty.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Ranty.
Hiya.
Sorry, Righteous, do you work from home?
Good
Do I
morning,
work for
Randy.
what?
Do you work from home, or is it evening? How about you guys? Or morning?
Oh, it's morning for me. It's like after 8.
Well, we know one thing. Righteous starts the day handling dough.
Gonna get a new housekeeping question today.
Wonderful.
The edge of the horizon or something like that, or the edge of the globe.
Yeah, essentially. A bit more carefully phrased than that, but yes.
Are you going to spill the beans, Nath?
I'll just tell you the question if you like. Any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of geometric measurement?
Yeah.
Why do all of them end up saying no?
We know what the horizon is. We're not dumb. We don't reify a globe model into this not actual location and say it's a physical edge of a sphere. We're not dumb. They are. So we'll be asking them for any signs of a physical sphere edge capable of geometric measurement, because it's got to be a physical location to measure it geometrically.
Any evidence of a physical sphere edge? Finish it off again.
Capable of geometric measurement.
You need to assume something there again.
Well, they need to assume a lot of things, but that's not my problem.
Well put. I'm going to repeat it, see if I wrote it down right. Any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of geometric measurement.
Perfect. Even the pause was perfect. Physical sphere, pause, edge. Capable of geometric measurement.
I had a globie telling me spheres don't have edges. Spheres are round. You can't have an edge on a sphere.
Do you want the reply to that? The quick and short reply? Well, there's two, but I'll give you my favoured one first. So boats go over what now? Things obscured from bottom up by what now? Is the second one.
I like that one.
I was just telling Righteous this 5 minutes ago. I was also with a whole bunch of Ballers on the same issue yesterday.
Measuring what with geometry exactly? That's the other one.
Oh, just so you know, Nathan, I'm doing a show tonight at 10:30. Thought I'd let you know.
By that you
Good
mean,
schedule.
can you move and reschedule your show? That's what you actually mean. Yeah, okay.
Well,
no,
I don't want to steal your audience, Nathan.
I don't mind. What time? 10:30. Can't you do it at 10?
Well, it's Brian, and he can never do it before 10:30, can he?
And he normally uses about an hour and a half. So if I do midnight, that'll be all right by you, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Fine. No worries. Look forward to it.
Don't you guys have a sleep?
You can get some sleep after this show, Nathan.
Well, I just may not monitor it all. But that said, I like watching the show. That's the most annoying bit, really. Not the rescheduling. The fact that I might not get to watch it. This is it, right? This is what I'm talking about. This is that show.
Yeah, this is the show.
So kudos to Brian, who's just finished his show on Ranties. He did really, really well, didn't he?
Yes, I did.
That was a terrible Irish accent.
I can't do Irish. Can you do Irish?
Yeah, but I'd end up picking... I used to say
A wee
yes,
bit.
but I'd pick the wrong region and piss off a whole, whole group of people. It's like, that's not my part of Ireland. Like if I did a Welsh accent trying to pretend to be a Geordie or something, it's the same thing. So I don't even try to do Irish accents anymore.
What was it George Netanyahu said to him? He said, "You're talking with a bunch of marbles in your mouth." That's what he said to Brian.
Is that what he calls my balls? Oh, he was talking to you.
He was talking to Brian, and he was saying, "I can't understand you. You're talking with a load of marbles in your mouth."
Yeah, to be fair, Brian has
Likewise.
got quite a thick accent. You can't get away with that. Can't get away from that. Sorry.
Well, most people don't even understand me.
What? It's a combination of South African accent and poor audio quality with you, though, Flatsoid. Half the time, it's not actually because of your accent. It's just because you're not coming through clear enough to decipher your accent.
Well, I'm saving up for a better mic, though.
Good.
What?
That he's saving up for a better mic. Move my button box down. Buttons that are pressed during the show. Hence, I've got my arm up on the chair every time I do the intro. So I've got my arm up on the chair so I can reach the box of buttons to press all the buttons for the show. Now, after doing the show for 2 or 3 years, I've started to get pain in my shoulder from doing it daily. Sitting it with my arm up. So I've moved it.
Entropy.
Yeah, entropy of the shoulder.
What's the consensus of the feedback been since the Ballbusters show?
Same as was summarised on the Ballbusters show. So deny there's an edge, deny they can see the horizon, claim refraction, just all the things that were listed. A new one came by us from Zanuck at the end of the show where he said, "I don't believe he's at 1 foot." In other words, deny the evidence of the video, which was one we didn't anticipate.
On the video. On a bloody video. You can't get much clearer than that.
It's akin to saying it's CGI.
You could have put him at 10 feet, it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference.
I don't know if that's true, because like with your
You
barrow
had
ops-
him at 35 feet or 30 feet, and it was still the second platform the horizon should not be seen from the 30-foot. Remember?
Well, that's true too, but I'm just saying in terms of what Ranty was contextualizing it with, I think it would make a difference because he's under the layer of crap, as you call it.
Mm.
I gave an
that was the
analogy. I
point.
don't know if it's a good one, but see if you agree. When you look through the bottom of if you've got a gas stove and you turn it on full, you can actually see through where just above where the holes are, where it's pumping the gas out, and then above that there's a flame, but underneath it you can see relatively clearly, and then it all starts to get messed up above that, and you can't see anything. You can just see the flame. So you can actually literally see underneath and through that gas stove flame. That was my analogy. It's like where the gases are produced at the lowest level, it seems to not actually, for whatever reason, cause too much of a disturbance to what you're seeing. Whereas as you go higher, it does.
It's only on occasion, though. It's only on occasion that you get that. I think there has to be a lot of other factors at play that allow you to get that under the blanket kind of thing.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying it's a daily occurrence. I'm just saying I think in this specific instance, the example used was one of those examples because as he went higher, you got more distortion. So I'm guessing that's all this is. You know, none of us are taking the actual data. We're taking apart how they automatically assume looming when looming isn't actually what they need. Looming doesn't do what they require. Not that they've got any data to back that it's looming in the first instance, but that's another issue.
I can't believe Mick West put that on his image. Fog, obscured by fog.
Yeah, it's like we wouldn't see it, mate.
Well, we can see the bloody boat then.
Yeah. Foggy day with this boat in the distance, clear as crystal, just happens to be looming.
Well, Zanuck said that too before he even looked at the picture. Oh no, there's fog. There's all kinds of stuff. You can't. There's no way. And then he looks at the picture.
Well, these fundies can do that, can't they? Based on their religion, they don't even need to see the picture. They can automatically declare what's going on based on their sphere religion. So they literally don't even have to see the picture. It's a shocking affair when you've got zealotry of this level. But in the debate, it seems weird that the people who have this level of zealotry don't appreciate it. I don't know, because we haven't got an actual live audience. We've got a live digital audience. Yes, it's real people in front of their screens watching, but they're not a live studio audience. So you can't get the groans and reactions as these zealots do what they do. But I hope it's patently obvious to the people watching. You just don't know, though, do you? You can only go by the chat, and half the time they're discussing a different subject or trolling or whatever.
No,
Well,
I think you nailed it there. The audience was groaning and will groan when they listen to that show.
Well, I can guarantee you, if you saw my face, it was as red as a tomato. My blood boiling.
Maybe next Tuesday sometime.
Yeah, or next Wednesday. Maybe next Wednesday.
Say that again, Flatsoid.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Chocolate.
Hey, Chocolate.
What did you say, Flatsoid? Sorry.
I said if you wanted to see reactions, I'll put my video on sometime. You'll see how red my face gets. So
Oh,
frustrated
okay.
with some of these globers.
You don't count. You're a panelist.
Yeah.
You're a panelist. You don't count. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm screaming at the phone while you go, oh, well, I'm on mute though.
Sure.
I agree. The moon landings are fake.
Who said that?
Flatsoid.
Huh?
It's not that bad. I heard that clear as crystal, and you know it. This is bordering on racism now, so stop it.
It's just having a joke.
Chocolate, what's your summary of Saturday's Ballbusters?
Rest in peace to the magical spinning water ball in a vacuum.
When I re-upped it,
That's pretty much it.
when I re-upped it on this channel, I was in the. I mean, obviously, I'm in the chat often saying please share the show and things, but on the Ballbusters, I was just saying it constantly. It's like people need to see this. People need to appreciate this for what it is. An absolute demolition of the globe, peppered with, after listening to it back, various other little globe smashes and curve calculator debunkings. There was all sorts in there, aside from the, you know, it was mainly focusing obviously on the horizon, the not actual location reified into a physical position by globe heads. But there was all sorts of other stuff in there. You know, like I say, we dissected the curve calculator and various other things in the same show.
That was a good summary that Chocolate gave, that you asked them to re-give it when you compared the two pictures on two different days, and how on the one day you could see past the second platform because it was just a beautiful day to take those pictures. Then another day, you couldn't, and Chocolates. If you remember that, Choc?
Yeah, of course. That first picture would never be possible. It doesn't matter what goes on in the second picture. You
That's
can
right.
take a million pictures that don't show the horizon at that point. How is that horizon visible at that distance, even once? Not possible. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, it's a complete globe killer. And the only reaction is to say, that's not where the horizon is. Yeah, I've got a set of eyeballs. You need to deny it because you're a fundy globehead. But I have actually got a set of eyeballs to look at it with. There it is. Not a physical location.
Have you
Just
seen
on that point. Go ahead, Ranty.
I was going to say, have you seen the work that Grouter one's done? Because you just mentioned the curve calc before, and I watched Globebusters last night, and he's doing an 8-mile test over a frozen lake, and of course you can see the laser beam. It's not a problem, and the Globers are now coming back with, well, maybe it's being refracted or it's not accurate for observations over ice. So I thought Mick West is probably going to need to put another caveat in red underneath his curve calculator, not accurate for observations over ice. Then somebody else put not accurate for observations over land either.
Got the first bit right.
What?
Not accurate for observations.
Full stop.
Ranty, don't you have an 18-mile observation at 1 foot?
I certainly do.
I was thinking about that the other day. We're looking at 10 miles away, or let's say 9.4 miles away. Then I'm thinking, wait a minute. Ranty has an observation seeing something 18 miles away at 1 foot. So, what?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
that's
gets worse.
Ridiculous.
It gets worse. At the time he took that image, one of the things he was trying to achieve, sorry to speak for you, Ranty, was to debunk the notion that you're always pointing down. Because you're looking at a physical edge, a physical sphere edge in their model. So therefore, the higher you go, the further you look down towards that physical edge. Well, in reality, you can look up. You can point the camera physically up. So Ranty dug a hole and did the same observation from in a hole, looking up.
Yeah, I did. I dug a hole in the sand with the oncoming tide, and the tide filled the hole up probably about 3 or 4 seconds before I pulled the camera out of it. And you could still see the buildings right up to the point where the water envelops the hole. So I had to be looking over that wave. I was below the wave.
Well, half the lens was minimum, you know.
Yeah,
where
half the lens, yeah.
Yeah, but the top half of the lens is obviously above the water enough to see vast distance, about 18 miles. But it's definitely not pointing down. You're pointing up.
It was good times back then when we had good visibility. That was 2018 when we had that 2 or 3 months of fantastic weather. And then all this last year has just been crazily rubbish. You can't see anything.
Isn't it ironic that from the time you took those pictures, they started chemtrailing your area really big?
Did we figure out what type of refraction is bringing back about 17 miles worth of distance?
Yes, terrestrial.
Is there like a...
Yeah, terrestrial refraction.
Oh, terrestrial.
Yeah.
Yeah, super duper triple what was it? Cherry on top. Terrestrial refraction.
Super duper mega.
That just makes me.
Super duper terrestrial refraction with 3 cherries on top. Yeah.
Got to stop, you know, when we start using actual terms that describe actual refraction effects, we'll have to make sure that people are clear that that's detailing something that actually occurs in the atmosphere, as opposed to when they say, oh, well, observations close to the horizon or over water or too low to the ground are void. Well, no, your model won't allow those sorts of observations. We've still got eyeballs and cameras and can absolutely make these observations outside the criteria laid down by your model. Your model doesn't dictate how we take pictures. It's a shock. Just because your model doesn't work doesn't mean that suddenly observations over water are void. No, just means your calculator doesn't work when we're taking pictures over water because the Earth's not a sphere.
Good morning.
Hello, who was that?
Eli,
Hey, Eli. I see you joined as a channel member.
for sure.
Woo-hoo! Latest hyena. I'll give you a shout out as soon as we go live.
Thanks.
What's up, Eli?
Yeah, I was thinking when I saw the ball busters, it was amazing. It just unlocked all of the other long distance shots, like Chocolate said, that we haven't thought about after this ball buster show. So it's like there's a whole bunch of debunking videos to do.
Yeah, I mean, the main point I want to get across to people is that in a sphere model, there is an edge that's obscuring things in the distance, and you can do it just by holding a ball in front of you. The bit that you can't see past is the edge of their horizon on that ball. Well, their horizon isn't the horizon we experience. The horizon we experience is a not actual location that isn't capable of geometric measurement. But they have reified the edge of a ball into that position. We call the horizon a not actual location. So it's the difference between a physical location, a physical obstruction, and a not actual position called the horizon. They've just hijacked one and called it a physical edge of a sphere, which it's not, as demonstrated on Ballbusters 30. So it was an epic episode. But that's the main point of it. We don't have a physical edge of a sphere in our distance. We have a horizon that's obviously moving depending on how good the weather conditions are and how far you can see, because the Earth is flat.
You share my screens, Nate?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So they move the horizon to see the things that we see, basically.
Save this for the live show. I know what you're about to show me.
Okay.
Save it for the live show. We're only going to be 4 minutes. But yeah, Ranty's already filled me in on what he's about to show, hence I know it's good enough for the live show rather than a pre-show discussion.
Well, the reason that the argument is devastating is that we're using their model, their math, their radius. I can go on and on. And then was saying, well, based on what you've told us, the horizon could not be further than 1.22 miles. That one domino drops all the rest. And it doesn't work the other way around. You can't have one domino drop the flat earth argument, but you can have one domino destroy all of their arguments.
Really quick before the live show, did anyone see that interview with Tom Malthouse in The Matrix and yada yada?
No.
Okay.
Should I add a little bit extra onto the first housekeeping question? I.e., for the boats to go over? Or is that not worth it? Should I keep it concise?
Let's see. Let me read it,
What,
and then let me read it and see how it sounds. Any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of a geometric measurement?
For boats to go over.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pause there. Or for boats, well, it gets too long after that to disappear bottom up. Either way.
Sorry, Nathan, what was the additional question?
Any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of geometric measurement?
No, I like the original.
That was the original.
No, the other one that you made up.
What other
You
one?
mean for boats to go over?
The new housekeeping question that you have already. I think it's better than that one.
I don't know.
That was it.
That was it.
Wasn't?
It was.
No,
Okay.
when you stepped away and came back, what he wanted to do was to say, should I add, boats going over? at the end?
Yeah, should I add on to the end of that statement, for boats to go over? In other words, any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of geometric measurement, for boats to go over.
No.
I like it.
I like that.
Well,
I like it.
it's up to you.
I'm only going over it a couple of times because it's the first time it's being asked, and I don't want you to all talk through any part of it, as it's the first time I'm asking it.
Well, or you could say, for boats to disappear bottom first. I mean, you could say it so many ways.
Sure.
Is that replacing any signs of earthquake,
Nope.
or is just
No.
like an addition?
It's a precursor.
Gotcha.
It will be housekeeping question number 1.
Okay.
We're up to 9.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Righteous Force, Ranty Flat Earth, 10th Man, Flatzoid and Chocolate Sane in G+. Very good to have you all.
Good
morning.
Afternoon, Nath.
Hello.
Good morning.
Also joined by a whole bunch of people in Discord, so hello to everyone in Discord.
Hello.
Hey, Nathan.
Good to have you all. Before we do a bit of housekeeping, shout outs to the latest members of Nathan Oakley 1980. So Elijah Freeman, massive shout out to you, the latest hyena, and also Anaconda Malt Liquor 17, who's the latest lion. Wow. So massive shout outs to both of the new latest Nathan Oakley 1980 channel members. If you also want to join, there is a join button on PC and I believe Android, and there's a link below in the info box if you're on any other device. So we're going to kick off with a first, which is a new housekeeping question. Any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of geometric measurement, for boats to go over?
Great question.
Interesting.
Boats going over a curve, Nathan?
Edge.
Antipodal.
Over the edge?
Yeah, the thing
They
that...
don't like the word edge, Nathan.
No, I know they don't.
But how could an apparent location be physical?
It can't be, but you must reify globe physicality, i.e. something that can obscure things from bottom up because it's physically in the way. Well, that's a physical edge of their sphere. Is there any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of measurement?
Reify? Wait,
Yeah,
so you
reified.
may make something that's not real? Real?
Yeah, their model.
Nah.
The edge in their model is made real.
No, over here we go by the really is level.
Apparently, they don't.
Are there any globers that's actually going to try to answer this?
Well, we
Yeah,
had
Discord.
Ballbusters on Saturday. They didn't do good then.
I'll give it a moment. Any evidence of a physical sphere edge capable of geometric measurement?
Nathan, this is while we're waiting for someone to answer this. Remember how you saw their arguments, how they take their weakest arguments and they throw it out at us and make it like it's ours. They project it. The way you talked about how they say we have an edge, but really they're the ones with the edge.
Yeah, attack is the best form of defense. So if you've got a severe weakness in your reification of a sphere model that has a physical edge obscuring things in the distance, then rather than highlighting that fact, ask the opponent for their edge. So attack us for our edge. Hey Arwin, how you doing?
Hello.
I have to
Any evidence
say,
of...
that's a pretty good housekeeping question. That that really hits the spot.
Didn't hear that. Try again, Earth-shaped
Got
investigator.
an
You're a bit
edge
quiet.
to it.
Try that once more. Go ahead, Earth-shaped investigator. We didn't hear you. You just weren't loud enough.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
Just repeat what you said.
Yeah, I was just saying. I've turned off my Bluetooth. Yeah, that. I think we've got the edge on them now. It is a good housekeeping question. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
There's a whole raft of edge puns that will follow, I guarantee that. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Right.
Not from Saint Simeon.
Oh, Nathan, I'd advise you to ban P. Mars. He's getting all racist in chat. It's pretty
I'll keep an eye on
disgusting.
him. Thank you.
Yeah, the worst
No
of them
racism in
come
the
out
chat,
when it
please.
gets bad for the globe.
I'll take you're on one of my moderators anyway, Owen, so I'll just time him out just based on what you've just said. So no more racism, please, Pete Shea. Not Pete Shea, P. Mars.
Right. Don't tie him out the wrong person.
Anyway. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety, Ranty?
Afraid not, Nath. Can't find any of it. We go looking.
Anybody else? Axial
You need
rotation?
spinning first for. You need something to rotate to have that.
Yeah, you need an edge.
You need an edge.
Very true.
Well, yeah, you'd need an edge for that edge velocity. I suppose that's any evidence the distance?
Yeah. How would you measure the edge velocity anyway? Because they say if you're up at the North Pole, it's barely moving. If you're 90 degrees north, it doesn't move at all. So yeah, the edge is pretty key. Yeah, that's quite a good point. It's gonna have a wide.
They don't measure it. They don't measure it. They calculate it based on their model of how it should be if the Earth was a ball.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth? Shout out to Godzilla for the super chat and for correcting my incorrect numbering of the show. Self-perpetuating core? Molten? Anybody? Anybody at all?
No.
Well, apparently a new volcano erupted somewhere.
Bloody hell. Volcanoes have got sod all to do with the molten iron core. Even in their rhetoric. I mean, I don't know what causes volcanoes, but according to them, it's tectonic plate activity. The friction causes magma. Well, that friction isn't connected to the molten iron core, even in their bullshit rhetoric.
Really? I thought
Yeah, really.
that
What do you mean,
volcanoes
really?
would be-
This was taught to you
No,
in
but
high
their
school,
model,
Arwin.
their
Come
model, I
on.
thought that volcanoes were connected to eventually the core. That's what
No.
keeps
No.
them
Oh,
persistent volcanoes.
there's a layer of magma underneath the I think the crust. That's what it is. That's where
Have you not-
the magma is chilling. It's not coming from the core.
Arwen,
In,
have you
in
not-
their narrative, of course.
Okay.
Arwen, Arwen, have you not watched Journey to the Center of the Earth?
Yes, I have. Yeah, man.
That's
those
not a
crystal
documentary.
caves- Those crystal caves were awesome. Man, we need to go to the center of the Earth and harvest all those
It's
crystals.
not a
man.
documentary.
Listen. It's very simple. They got these so-called probes in the pseudo medium of space going within very close distance to the sun now, right? So what's the heat there versus if they send that same probe inside the volcano, since it's deeper than 8 miles? I mean, it should be able to withstand the heat of our Earth's core if they can get one near the sun, right?
I don't know what you want. Do you want it in Celsius or what are you asking?
I'm saying since they got probes that can withstand the heat of the sun, which is greater, the heat of the sun with the probe being near it, that took years and years to get there, or that same probe thrown in some lava juice volcano so they can go deeper than 8 miles so that we can prove it once and for all.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius?
I wanted to add a little bit more, considering volcanoes and the supposed molten iron core. I have no idea why the tectonic plates presumed to be as it is, why they even move. Does anybody know?
Yeah, they say they move. What you're saying is you don't see them move. I mean, they claim
No. Why do they move?
Why do they move?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Why do they move the way they do?
It's a force.
I don't know that.
But do you accept their explanation for earthquakes and such like?
Well, not spherical, but there may be
ignoring
some
the
kind of
bit.
earth drift in some way, like this.
Just ignoring that. I mean, they'll show you Hawaii building up a load of lava pillows and producing new land, and they'll assert that that is essentially the same process that's happening somewhere else to force a continent to physically grow. And if it's landlocked by other plates, then what you have is a situation where there's pressure building up in this giant continent plate, and as it slips over the next plate, that juddering is the earthquake. That's their current explanation for earthquakes. Now, in the same situation, you've also got the Ring of Fire, all these boundaries that are constantly under friction, and that creates this lava in these pockets that works its way up to the ground level. All of this is, I don't know how valid any of this is, to be perfectly honest, but that's their rhetoric. Mm-hmm. That's what they say happens. It's nothing spherical particularly, but it's just not in any way linked to the molten iron core.
Well, the thing is,
in a way, it is because it's supposed to be floating on top of it, right? If I may respond.
Hold on, whoever's interrupting, just 1 second. Go ahead, Arwin.
But what I just wonder is, if you imagine these are huge, big plates of basically mostly rock and minerals and dirt and huge masses. So what is actually then causing the force? Just approach it mechanically for a while, in order to push all of that into each other, in order to create lava, to push one giant slab upon another. Because if you say, well, there's room and then lava forms rock in between, how could the cooling down of lava, which is a liquid, then cause so much force solidifying, which it would require some space in the first place to be able to reach the surface? How could that then cause this massive push force that would push the entire slab like that? It doesn't make any mechanical sense to me.
Well, it kind of does. If you force glue between a joint and the glue expands upon setting, then you're going to force cracks in the wood potentially as the pressure increases and the glue sets. So I can understand the explanation.
You have to put it there. How does it come?
That would cause the plate to deform and break. It would not hold
up shape from the bottom
movement.
If it's not being forced in there.
Well, this is
are we begging the question?
Thank you. Everything starts with begging the question. They already believe the Earth is a sphere, and so now they bring an answer based on that.
Yeah, but our
the thing is, so much of this is an alternative cosmology, and I hate to bring it back to religion again, but that you need to have a key into the philosophy and the religion to get a full take on where they're coming from. First of all, they want to throw out the Bible, and the Bible puts out a world that comes from the waters. And now they're coming with some sort of alternate cosmology where the world is, evolved by fire, where the world, is a world of fire and old as opposed to, from the waters and younger as the Bible seems to imply. So really, they're just putting out an alternative cosmology to the scriptures to just, walk away from it totally on some level. It's just, a philosophical assumption that isn't based in, revelation from, say the creator, the one who made the thing on a certain level. We don't see these seas of magma below the continental plates, and we don't even see continental plates that are puzzle pieces like their model implies. There's a couple serious problems with plate tectonics as is. And if the continents did move, that would cause the plates to deform, crumble, and break apart. They would not hold up under the stress, some of them. And when they are analyzing how far down the plates go, they go down in some cases hundreds of miles, and they're still not finding a sea of magma below it to go with the full elements of their model and their theory. So really, we're not getting everything they're presenting to us. They're presenting kind of a deceptive picture that isn't quite matching experimentation.
Agreed. Can we move on? Because, as I say, as much as this is related to the nature of our Earth, it's not necessarily related to the housekeeping question, any evidence of a molten iron core. So, any scientific evidence of gravity?
Of what?
Well, gravity has two parts. Gravity has the part where stuff falls, okay, but the second part of gravity forming balls and orbits, no.
Can you just back off your mic a little bit beyond it? You're just making it pop and stuff when you're speaking. You're clear enough, it's just popping and stuff, plosives.
But how, if things are falling, do you come towards gravity?
I agree, moon landings, fake.
Yeah, no scientific evidence whatsoever.
What haven't we had? Any evidence of the distance to the sun? No, we've had that. I'm sure I've missed one. Oh, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon? There's only one more left.
Keyword pressure.
Nope.
Almost feel like we haven't even talked about that point for a while because we've been destroying this horizon edge nonsense.
Edge. Yeah. Fundy globe heads have an edge. They have boats going over it and they have it obscuring things. This fundy edge that they challenge us to produce as flat earthers, even though we don't claim one. They've definitely got one. They've reified it from a ball model into a not actual location we see as the horizon. It's amazing. The horizon's not a physical edge, but they claim it as one. They measure it geometrically, assume it's a sphere, all that bollocks.
Yeah, but you forget.
Hey, tough man.
What do I forget? Hold on. Just 1 second, Righteous.
Go
on, Flatsoid. What do I forget?
I said you forget. They say the Earth is too big to observe any curve, but a boat can go over the horizon at 3 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Nope.
Right, I've got one more housekeeping question, but I'm going to do a quick shout out. I've been learning so much listening. Thank you to the debate participants. The conversation adds to my rebuttals for the Globers. You're all awesome. Oh, thank you very much. Light Energy for the super chat. Really appreciate your support. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
I haven't heard one yet.
The study
does leaps of logic count?
John Hawkins in the chat. There's a link in the info box.
That's funny, by the way. I was looking concerning this subject. I was looking on the modern day debate for a moment, and there was atheism versus Christianity.
Hold on a second, Arwin. Rams, can you not hear Arwin talking? Just carried on regardless. Go ahead, Rams. Hold on, Arwin. Sorry. Rams.
Sorry, guys. It was a mistake.
No worries. Go ahead, Arwin. Sorry.
Right, so there was this discussion between the lady, a lady that was an atheist, and a Christian guy over at the modern day debates. It was a few days ago, and it was there live. And she would actually start peer pressuring, attacking him on claiming, like, how dare you claim that all these science groups are not real science. It went that far. So there's still a lot of people out there that just can't get over the fact that it is pseudoscience, that astrophysics and astronomy and all that stuff is all pseudoscience. They can't handle it. They get all
Well, they
triggered.
want us to assume our place because the scientific, materialist, and frankly atheist establishment is supposed to take us to a brave new future. So us questioning their, scientism is a problem. Now, good science is fine. Scientism that's based on very bad suppositions, not so much. So we got to look at the basis of some of these scientific claims and see if they're fully valid. It's more like science, skepticism of some of the scientific claims. That's all. Science can still be a wonderful method if it's properly used, and there's no problem with science on that level. But when it turns into a materialistic, atheistic faith where it just has to be physical, God and spirit be damned, or any other revelation other than the materialistic revelation we, show to ourselves, know God, or whatever, or anything else other than, ourselves or some demon from hell, that's where it gets really problematic.
And I keep having repeated issues with people in other servers debating the difference between the colloquial interpretation of the word theory and the scientific theory. A lot of people really don't understand the difference.
Well, I mean, the thing is, a theory, we're going to have lots of theories because we're limited humans and we can only see so much of reality. But we need to humbly acknowledge that what we have is a theory and that the truth could be out there in the unseen realms where we're not quite seeing it. That's why it's good to have faith and revelation to bridge the gap. The only thing that's really dealing with the flat observations that we're seeing with lasers and with what we're seeing with our eyes and everyday experience is the Hebrew cosmology, as far as I've seen, which comes, mostly from the revelation of God, not from man's investigation or philosophical musing or materialistic revelation alone. So we need something to bridge this gap because we can't see everything. And, our theories aren't always going to cut it.
The point I kept trying to make, though, was that a scientific theory has been through the scientific method, and it's a fact. It's empirical.
Well, I think what happened is that kind of happened with gravity. But the thing is, new evidence came around later, and rather than do the work to start from scratch and reevaluate the theory from the ground up, they're like, we're going to keep this unworking theory and try to massage the new observations into it as needed. That's why they went from gravity pulling to the center of the mass of the ball Earth to space-time curvature. They basically assumed what must have first been proved and said, we're going to assume that gravity exists, and now it curves space-time, which sounds like they're kind of moving toward the ether. Space-time can curve, it can straighten, curve and straighten, curve and straighten over and over again, which would give you waves, which sounds like a medium waving, So that sounds like the ether anyway. So basically they kind of, on the sly, tried to change gravity into ether.
Well, again, that's closer to the colloquial understanding of the word theory rather than a scientific theory.
And also, we need to look at the philosophy that's being used to generate these theories, because these theories are not always just coming from an objective standpoint. Some of these theories are coming from principles. The Earth cannot be in the center. Therefore, any theory that you come up with must take the Earth out of the center, must make it materialistic, and refuse, spirit, and stuff.
Very good.
And the I was just saying that the scientific establishment, ironically, with its hatred and refusal to acknowledge God, is actually becoming ironically mystical. You see the theory of the way that they're going, the direction they're going toward, saying that energy can pop out of nothing in a vacuum. You can see that they're trying to work in spontaneous generation and spontaneous appearance and existence. Despite the fact that the thing in the vacuum is probably invisible ether that is still in there, just unseen. So, despite the fact that they're trying to, outright refuse the Christian God, they become increasingly mystical and Far Eastern. It's very interesting.
What is ether?
The medium that flows in and out of everything, makes up space itself, needed for the propagation of electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic waves themselves are probably undulations, waves, ripples of the ether. Space itself can carry a charge, store a charge, become charged, a source of nearly limitless energy all around us, that sort of thing. Basically, the ancients thought that purified air was ether, and you can purify air by means of vacuum filtration, and the thing left in the vacuum would probably be ether.
The problem is we can't prove it. We can't even test it, really, can we?
Well, we can prove it with retroductive logic, but we can't prove it via atomism. The atomistic paradigm that they're under says that it has to be something that they can see, taste, smell, touch, or hear explicitly. But not everything that's real falls under those parameters. Your emotions are very real. Real falls under those parameters. Your emotions are very real. Real falls under those parameters. Your emotions are very real. Real falls under those parameters. Your emotions are very real. Real falls under those parameters. Your emotions are very real.
What's happening?
Or
Bloody hell.
QE's joined.
What the hell?
He's either joined with his watch page open or I don't
That
know.
was weird.
I think it was QE. I just already muted him for now.
I think he
Go
was
on
trying
mute,
to.
QE.
I think he was trying to drive the point.
Sorry about that. Don't you ever put me on mute again. Beyonder.
I would have done it.
Don't come back here.
You were causing.
Don't come back here. Do you understand me?
You were causing audio chaos.
I understand that. I was trying to get it fixed. Please forgive me.
Yeah, but you can't just take it out on someone else and say, don't come back.
No. I'm not taking that out on somebody else.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
taking out on that nonsense that's going on this show. Now,
okay.
if you want to have him on your
Triggered by the ether.
on your side, then fine.
Did he claim science?
He's not in Discord. And Arwen, I'll tell you what. If you were in Discord, your ass would be gone too. Just to let you know, right? Get out of here.
Okay.
Just to let you know. You should have listened to these bozos yesterday.
Of you. Well,
Nathan.
he wasn't claiming science. Just to
You should have listened to these bozos yesterday. Lemon Bird and Arwen.
Laying out an idea. It was very clear about it. I thought it was
Yeah,
very.
you're out of there.
That was interesting.
Just to let you know. You ain't representing me on this flat earth.
It becomes a philosophical discussion, doesn't it?
It's bullshit. Every time it gets around to the ether with Lemon Bird, I don't care if you're talking about bed springs. It's going to come up ether. I'm sick of his bullshit.
Why?
And I just woke up. I'm sorry. But I heard
that explains everything.
I heard these two bozos last night, Arwen and Lemon Bird, for like 2 hours. Then I get on the show this morning. Who do I hear? Arwen and Lemon Bird on this show. I'm seeing red.
Can ether be scientifically dismissed?
I'm not just talking about ether. You asked him, what did you ask him about the colloquial use of theory versus scientific theory? What kind of bullshit did he say?
That's funny, dude. It's like summoned you.
Go ahead and listen back to that.
Hey, Adam. W.
Can you watch
Barely
something that
hearing,
Ranty
to be
wants
honest.
to show?
1 second, guys. Hey, Adam.
Afternoon, guys. What are you moaning about, John? I thought you said it was the year of the ether.
But I wasn't ready yet.
Ding, ding, ding.
Don't ban the ether, bro.
What the fuck
Can't
is ether?
stop.
Hold on. Now you've done it overtly, and now I can get involved. What's ether?
The word.
Are you asking me to define it?
No, not you, Arwen.
I was going to say I was about to hang up and have line problems.
Me?
No,
Well, I don't
Arwen
even have
wasn't.
a full
Listen.
definition of it yet.
To be clear, Arwen wasn't talking about the ether, right? To be clear, I'm not pissed at Arwen for that.
But yet you threatened to throw me out of Discord if I got there, though.
That's just because you're Arwen.
Okay.
Well, let's have a do-over. He did pepper it with apologies and disclaimers of how tired and he just got up and stuff. So let's just start again.
Yeah, sorry about
Anyway.
that. Lemon Bird's
Have you had
gone.
breakfast
Ether, you're
yet,
on.
John?
Ether. Jeez, oh man. All right, when you're on triple secret probation, dude.
Triple.
Okay, well, as
Yeah.
long as it's secret, that's fine with me.
I'm gonna say that.
I'll tell you what, you tell me, Nathan. You listen to the past couple Jose shows. You tell me if he's on double or triple or quadruple secret probation. You tell me. I was absolutely shocked at the shit that came out of his mouth. It's like that he never learned anything for 3 years here. Nothing.
Concerning what? Can you be more specific?
Concerning what? No, just listen. I'm not going over all your bullshit.
Okay,
Just
so you're
listen
not
to
going
those
to
two
give me
shows
an
where
actual
you come on. It's
in-content
plainly clear.
criticism on what I said wrong. You're just going to say I got everything wrong. It sounds familiar.
Plainly clear. I didn't write
Sounds
everything
like you
down, Arwen. I
guys-
was too pissed.
Okay.
Sounds like you guys need Ranty's round table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lucky
you
he's
can
not
have it
here.
out on the
I'll tell you
round
that
table.
much.
Sounds good.
But you've already disclaimed that, to be fair, he wasn't claiming ether. So what's your beef? I don't get it.
Was it like I just said? Listen to the past two Jose retard shows where he wants to go on there, Mr. Flat Earther, and be Mr. Scientist, right? He doesn't know what he's freaking talking about. Anecdotal evidence.
Very,
I didn't hear
very clear about
anything.
what I'm talking about. It
Telling
is why
stories.
I come
It was
Here we
embarrassing.
go.
there. Yeah. I know exactly what I'm talking about. That is why I do it. That's why I go and sit in between these circle jerking ballers all the time. Because I can be that correct. And I was. May have not every word may have come through because I get over talked a lot. And hey, I may even slur a little here and there, basically not formulating the words correctly in a moment. So something may have come out a little broken, okay?
Wasn't any
But
of that. I'm not
contextually,
talking
as
about
to
that.
the actual subject, I know exactly what I'm talking about. You know this.
I'm not talking about that nonsense. You know what the hell I'm talking about, Arwen.
No, I don't.
Don't play stupid.
Go on,
Yes,
you
you
have to
do.
Oh, you
fill us
you
in.
mean my little back and forth with right to hand about conceptualization of certain models? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not
No,
with
not
just
that.
not just with right to hand. I'm sorry,
Was
I
it
didn't
gravity?
itemize the list
Gravity,
because it was
orbit?
too long.
Which one?
I
Do
don't
you
care
even
about right to
remember?
hand. He's a friggin' numbskull.
I know. But do you even remember any specific subject here that I said
Yeah, and
wrong
I
in the
told
last
you in
debate?
Master B's, didn't I? What did I write? Go ahead and the big one. Go ahead to Master B's.
You write a lot of things in Master B. You know, I don't read all of it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll bring something up because now I remember it. The big one. Somebody challenged you with the theories of Einstein and Newton with gravity. Can you please post Newton's theory of gravity for us, Arwen?
Well, I was challenged for that, yes, but I was given
None of your bullshit. Post it or tell us right now.
My version of it, how I interpret it, and compare it to the others. So I was very
Newton's
clear about
theory
the
of gravity. Post it right now.
Post it.
Or
I
speak
explain
to it
things.
right
I
now.
don't post
Newton's theory.
things.
Newton's theory of gravity, please, for everyone.
Right. Wait, the original script that he did was kind of nutty, I remember. So I'm not going off by that because I don't know that. I don't know the details of that. But I do
Can
know
somebody
that
can somebody bring him in? Can somebody let him know what the score is, or do I need to?
I don't
Oh
mind.
yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Show us how good your memorization
Let me
skills
walk him
are
through
because
it.
you
Arwen.
memorize everything.
Arwen, what's the theory?
I don't know. You're talking about the theory of
Oh my
Newton,
God.
right?
That's what I'm talking about, Nathan.
I'm going per title. You said Newton's theory. Okay. Well, that's
just asked you for what
I'm
a
not
theory
claiming
is.
Hold on,
it's
stop,
We're going
stop, both
step
of
by
you. Hold
step.
on, Arwen.
Newton didn't even claim it was a scientific theory.
Arwen, he's paraphrasing what you said apparently on Jose's, and you said Newton theory.
Yeah, but I also, on top of that, directly after that, also said, but Newton never claimed the hypothesis. So the use of theory there was colloquially, and I emphasized that by explaining it afterward. But maybe you missed that, John. Maybe you missed that. Because I say it every single time Newton comes up. Every single time.
Well, why did you hesitate right now? I didn't hear any of that. Why did you hesitate right now when he asked you what a theory was? He didn't ask you what Newton's theory was. He asked you what a theory was, and you said, I don't know.
It depends on what approach to theory you have. If you're gonna per default say, oh, the only thing that can be a theory is a scientific theory.
No,
yeah, then you're gonna have the scientific.
That's what I'm talking about, Nathan.
That's not true. So you and not you, Lemonbird, and who was it that was discussing? Rams were discussing this earlier. So you've got colloquial theory. That would be Mystic Meg. I can see riches in your future. That's
you can all talk it like that. It's just not complete yet. It's not adapted to a scientific method. It's conceptual. It's ideas. And those ideas can be grounded
I'll turn
in
that
some
back on
real
you.
things.
No worries, you're interrupting me, so I'll turn it back on you. Ball's in your court. So to be scientific theory, what does it need?
It needs a proper scientific hypothesis.
Aha! So we've got something being contextualized scientifically. That would be Newton's theory. And it would require what again?
A valid hypothesis.
Booyah! Let's have it.
He doesn't have one, and he never claimed one.
Who's interrupting
He
him?
never claimed one, and I said it on Jose's, and I said it right now.
So it's an
what's the problem
oxymoron.
here?
Really?
So it's an oxymoron.
Yeah. But that's not what that Jose thing was about. What it was about is them telling me, you don't even know what it all is. And I said, oh yeah, really? No, I do know what it is. I know exactly what it is. I know some of the details of it, not perfect to the miniature whatever, but I know how it works, how it's supposed to work. I know what it technically is. And I explained that.
Shout out to Godzilla37. He says, QE is right about one thing. Speculation presented as fact is not a good look. You start sounding like NASA before you know it. Thank you very much for the super chat, Godzilla37. Really appreciate your support.
Great.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just not talking. Just listen to it. If you made the correction, Arwen, I'm sorry. I listened to that for about an hour and a half. The only reason I'm listening for the flat earthers, and especially you. You represent us. Do you understand that?
Do my best, but I don't always represent you. I mostly represent myself. But I do sometimes represent
that's
you.
Why if you were in here,
people
I'd boot you
mention
out.
you. I defend you, John. I defend Nathan.
Hold on,
I defend
disagree with that.
everybody on here when you are being addressed by them in my face.
I disagree
But when
with that.
I speak for myself.
Yeah, well, I'm going to agree with you. So why does Arwen represent me when he's in Jose's chat?
He represents flat earthers, and he's directly representing. They're talking about the show, right? Now, listen, I'm not expecting him to know the principal quantum numbers of stuff. But when somebody says Newton's theory, and he's been sitting here for 3 friggin' years, and he doesn't just stop and say, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And he goes on to his little storytelling. Okay, that's fine. He can do that.
Right.
Right.
But I didn't, because you just said you missed that part where I actually did explain it.
Yeah,
so.
you did. And that's fine. No problem.
Agree. It's important to be correct. I agree.
I'm not talking about
It's
that.
difficult though.
I'm not talking about that. I don't want you to be a
especially when you're
parroter out
active, like,
there.
4 to 5 hours a
but
day.
you've sat here and listened for 3 years. That's my problem. And I told you about this a long time ago, that the threat is flat earthers.
No shit.
I'm sick of it.
Dude, I'm in the scene
threat
longer
to the
than you.
flat
You
earth
think
is
I don't know
flat
that?
earthers. What?
I totally agree
I'm a
with
flat
that.
earther longer than you, buddy. You think that I don't know that?
Right.
That's
I'm going
fine.
to shout out this super chat while you two tit for tat. Shout out to Sean Hawkins, who says, when will QE or Nathan come out of their echo chamber and prove they aren't feckless cowards? Debate me, cowards. You're free to join whenever you want to, Sean, if you wish. Thank you very much for the super chat. There is a link below. If you require us to move a few people around to get in because it's full, I can do so. if you want to debate me.
Sean Hawkins. Sean Hawkins
he
couldn't
actually
tie his
gave you
shoes
money.
by himself, you friggin' retard.
Don't
He
hassle my
gave
super
you
chatters.
money. He gave you money to make a comment rather than join in the panel.
I'll say it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you want to debate me, you can. Now, somebody asked me how much I care about debating Sean.
Crickets.
Sean, I
Nathan,
couldn't care
how
less.
much do you care about debating Sean?
I couldn't care less. Literally couldn't give a crap whether or not I debate Sean Hawkins. However, if you want to debate me, which it seems you do, then you can. So I'm not a coward. I just couldn't give a shit about debating you or anybody else for that matter. However, if they want to debate me, they can. What's that you say? You've got terms that you want to debate me on. I couldn't care less.
Why do they think we care what the opinion of us is?
They can come in and tell us. If they so choose, that's why there's a public link. It's like, no, but you must debate me on my terms. No, I don't care about your terms. Sean Hawkins, been smoking the crack again, says Super Looming Hyena. I don't know about that. I don't think he's a crackhead.
Say that, Chocolate, again, what you said.
Because they think they're irrelevant. Meanwhile, we're the ones making them relevant. Because what would you guys be doing if you weren't talking about flat Earth? Playing with your lightsaber somewhere? Why y'all not doing that now? What are you worried about us for? Fuck out of here.
So yeah, shout
Playing
out,
with his lightsaber.
Shout out Super Looming Hyena. Thank you very much for the super chat.
This show steers the conversation, though.
Playing with his lightsaber, yeah, supervised. Sean Hawkins, you're a joke, man. Joke.
Hey, do any Glovers that are in here have any rebuttals for Ballbusters episode 30?
Good question.
Yeah, where's that edge? We're waiting for that edge, guys. Where is it? The physical one that you think is blocking things? Where is that?
Did you hear the new housekeeping question at the beginning of the show, QE?
No, dude, I told you I woke up stumbling and fumbling, man. Sorry.
Stumbling, fumbling, and spitting feathers at Arwen.
I just couldn't. When I hit the show and all I heard was Lemon Bird and Arwen, I lost my mind. Sorry, man. Sorry about that.
Don't apologize to me. It's all good.
Ether. Right?
That
Doesn't
was
the
the
Chinese
end.
New Year start in April?
Somebody's talking in the background. I can't hear him.
Who is that talking? Just Travis? Fenris? Sorry?
Somebody's talking.
Travis.
Yes, that was me. Hello.
Travis, you're so low.
Oh, thank you. Go on mute then.
No, I can just
Travis,
turn you up a bit.
Travis, are you under 1 foot so you can take that picture?
My tripod starting out goes at 2 feet above water, so I can safely not ruin my camera.
There may be a mistake on B69 on his 1 foot observation. One of the photos that he showed, the 1 foot observation, was actually the 35 foot. He made a mistake.
I've seen
But
that.
that's okay. It doesn't
something-
matter. At 35 feet, the horizon still should be 7.2 miles away. So they're still screwed. But I just want to say that I might make a correction here.
Yeah. You
Not
don't have
tomorrow,
to.
but
You don't
on
have to,
upcoming show.
Hold on,
You don't
QE.
have to.
I
That's
think
quite a mix-up.
everyone shut up a second. Go ahead, Ranty.
Yeah, you don't have to make a correction, QE. The image that he posted at the start of his video was from 35 feet, but the screenshot that was taken was absolutely from 1 foot.
Are you sure
So I
about
have
that?
some-
I took
yes,
a look
I
at
have
it
something to
yesterday and
present.
it didn't seem so.
Yeah, I have something to present as well. That's all right.
Go ahead. You're on
I
screen.
can't see it.
You'll have to
but
go
go
to
ahead.
your live stream and mute the watch page, but try not to interrupt. Go ahead, Ranty.
Okay, so Walter Bislin, essentially this is the go-to Earth curve calculator for the globers, and they have these individual tools that you can slide along, and you can adjust the refraction, so you can bring things back from beyond the edge, the horizon. And obviously, if you move this red cursor from left to right, what you'll see that this building both drops and hides and then pops up, and now you can see it. And this is their model. This is how they perceive things. And obviously, throughout this entire thing, they have a hard horizon. The horizon never changes. You never see a horizon beyond the object that's being loomed up from beyond that curve. Their edge is always there. Now, going back to this observation, John, this is the screenshot. Now, I've taken this screenshot on this particular point, and this was from the video. This was from the video from 1 foot. If we go back to the start of his video and we find the image that he presents, which is this one, just play it, you can tell it's completely different. It's much higher. This is from 30 foot. But actually, the image that was taken was from 1 foot. Now, I've got that up on screen here. I just want to say something, John. This image that you presented on Ballbusters, I like it, don't get me wrong, but the clarity of it isn't very good at all. It's horrendous.
Yeah,
the quality is
it's not mine. It's not mine. I got that from somebody else, but that's okay. Go ahead.
But
did you hear what I just said?
What I did, he heard you. I went and I got. Hello.
Yes, please continue.
So I went and I got the same image. Obviously, this is the same image, but it's in much better resolution. So if just to change things around a bit, I'm just going to adjust the brightness and contrast. That you can actually see that that horizon line, because when you adjust things around a bit, now you can make it out. Now you can actually see the horizon is far beyond the second platform when you adjust the contrast on this high definition image. So
yeah, I did more or less the same. I did more or less the same thing yesterday. Here's the problem. Pull up the photo that has 1 foot elevation in the left-hand corner where it says 1 foot elevation.
This one over here. I'm trying
no,
to
not that one.
Which one you mean?
I know the one you're talking about, John.
Right. So the one that he presented at the start of his video, and it says it's 1
No,
foot.
No, the one that has the print that says 1 foot elevation.
I don't have that, John. I took this from the video. From a video still.
That's the one I'm talking about. The one I showed that says 1 foot elevation has it in white print.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me get it.
No. Ranty's about to make a different point in regards to Walter Business Calculator. So this is an aside that's gone on a bit too far. We can conclude that afterwards. Please continue,
okay.
Ranty. Get to your point.
Sure. So the point is that from this 1 foot observation, the horizon should be, the geometric horizon should be 1.22 miles away. The simple fact is that this at 6.2 miles away, this platform here is visible, right? And the idea that looming happens has to be beyond a edge. You have to have an edge for things to be loomed up beyond. Let's go back to the Walter Bislin's curve calculator just to show that again. You need a solid edge, and you need the building, or in this case, the platform, to be loomed up behind that edge. One thing you can't have is you can't have a succession of different platforms being loomed up with water visible and a horizon beyond that. You just can't have that. You can't have this being loomed up, then the water being loomed up, then this building being loomed up, and then a horizon far, far, far in the distance. Let's not forget, 9.4 miles away to this platform is quite a long way when the edge of the globe should be at 1.22 miles away. There is no edge.
Perfect.
No worries. But
Hold
yeah,
on,
John, because you can't see what I'm presenting.
No, I can see it.
Yeah, this is from 1 foot. I can bring up a screenshot of that other, from his 1 foot, what he claims is 1 foot at the start of his video, which is this.
I put it in
here.
Master B.
So this is what he originally claimed. Let me just play the video just a second.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on.
QE, you're talking all over his presentation. I've just got to point that I was trying to subtly say it. We can get to the admin about the discrepancy in Ballbusters after. He's nearly there.
We were just talking about that.
I know. But
he finished his presentation. He were just talking about it.
Right, I'm just going to show you what he presents as a 1 foot observation at the start of his video.
Like I said, that's what he just said. What's the problem?
I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this.
Oh my God.
He's in the middle of doing a presentation. You've decided that he's finished. Now he's buggered off.
He finished his presentation, then he went back to the 1 foot observation. What the fuck? Why?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, he's got a concluding point about Walter Bislin's calculator, which he's told me, and I know
It wasn't oh my God. It wasn't about Walter Bislin. He said the 1 foot observation. He just said it again. all I wanted to do was show the exact photo that there was a problem with. That's all.
Okay. I'll stick that on screen immediately.
Okay, so it's in Master B. Can somebody pull that up?
Me, I've got it on screen now.
That one was the problem. That one is from 35 feet, as best I could tell. I went back and looked at it. You can't deal with it.
No worries. Any chance you can put the 1 foot actual observation on now, Ranty? Because we've got it as a direct comparison to make this bit concise, if you're willing.
1 sec, Nath. I actually was. This is what I was getting to when John was freaking out. So this is the same screenshot that John's just presented. This 1 foot elevation, and what you can see is that the hard horizon meets the platform in this location. Let me just put this in here. So there. So on this particular image, you can tell it's higher because you can see where the horizon meets the platform, which is in this spot on this platform on the right hand side. Whereas on this case, it's way, way, way lower. It's not up here. So this is telling you that you can definitely tell that this was taken from 1 foot and this was absolutely taken from 35 feet. He put a mistake at the start of his video, but as I say, this is pure clarity, clarifying that this was the 1 foot observation and that this image is correct and the horizon is far, far, far beyond what their Earth curve model should say it is.
Hallelujah. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, everybody.
Are you done?
Yes, he's done. I believe so.
I'm done.
Okay, now go back to the 35 foot observation to my frigging point.
The 35 one that's marked as 1 foot.
The 1 foot observation, yes.
Yes, I've got that on
Sorry
screen.
about that.
That's all right. Yeah, I've got that on screen.
All my point was this was the 35 foot observation. That's it. He made a mistake. It's not a big deal. The horizon is still further than the platform at 35 feet. The back platform, where it should be at 35 feet, 7.24 miles. Right? It's a mistake, right? But it's not it doesn't material affect anything. It's still a train wreck.
Yeah, it makes
you understand what I'm
difference.
saying?
Yeah, that point was raised on the show. So I think it was 10th Man that actually raised that point, which was to say that, well, the horizon's still in the wrong place at 35 feet anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, that's right. But that's right. That's correct.
I just want to clarify that the image with the red line that you put on, the image with that red line is absolutely taken from 1 foot. 100%.
Yeah, there was only one error, and that's now been corrected. It's no big deal.
All right, I got another one that I corrected yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it in Master B. Let me see if that shows up good on yours. I didn't put any text or anything on it.
Okay, there we go. So this is...
Okay, no, not that one. All right. Yep, that's the 1 foot observation. You can clearly see the horizon behind it. It doesn't...
Yep.
I could probably do a little bit better on the contrast, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
You don't even have to. It's
the
clear.
same as Ranty's. Essentially the same. Ranty was on this doing the contrast when you had the back and forth. But there we go. I think, to be fair to
both
Ranty...
trying to make a point. We're both trying to make the same point.
Yeah, you're both making the same point, and yours was, to be fair, Ranty, in slightly higher resolution, however you'd managed to capture it, but that's a totally different point. We're really, really nitpicking.
Well, Nathan, just having watched Ranty's presentation there, the kind of second point comes to mind from those two pictures there, because they are of the same thing at different heights, and you see the movement of the horizon relative to the platforms as the angle opens up, and obviously we've got more data we can see, so we're able to see further. So for me, it's a good example of how observer height kind of increases ability of distance of viewing, certainly the clarity as you raise, and it's demonstrated by the movement of the horizon, again proving it's not a physical point, but it is just an optical point of meter. It's the point of no definition.
It's angular,
and I think those two pictures show that really well.
Absolutely, it's angular as opposed to geometric.
Yeah.
So when Flat Earth Data was on Ballbusters, he summarised that quite beautifully. And he's comparing the representation of a geometric world that takes away what you see, and we've described it as the hijacking of perspective. Now, those two things are one and the same thing. You've got an angle opening up as you raise in altitude, and it's all based on the angles of what you see. How big they are in angular size as they get further away, or how small they get, more likely disappearing into the distance at that diffraction limit. Well, all of these things are related to the angles, and you're, as you rightly point out, opening the angle as you raise in altitude. But if you've got a geometric edge, it makes sod all difference. It's still there obscuring stuff.
Well, even if you allowed them that they're able to peer over the edge, which, as we've showed, you can't at these heights, then the consequence of observing on a flat plane and increasing your angle means you would see further. Therefore, the horizon would continue to rise, to continue to go into the distance. But if you're doing that same thing on a ball, then all you do is create more and more opportunity for you to observe the curvature and watch it drop. Whereas in reality, that again, it's looming up consistently to provide multiple edges to give the illusion of a flat plane.
Exactly. This was covered in 2015. I just didn't realise how important it was when Rory Cooper covered it. My Perspective covered it. And he essentially had a side-by-side visual demonstration of what happens when a physical edge drops as you raise in altitude versus the flat plane we actually face with a diffraction limit. Well, the flat plane, as you widen the angle, you're just seeing further and further into the distance, so his boxes are just extending on that depiction. Whereas on the globe depiction, as you described, it's just falling away more and more and more as you get higher and higher and higher. And the way to visualise this, if you're struggling with our verbal description of it, if you imagine the end result being their picture of Earth from space, and AB's start point being the horizon is the leading edge of their ball model, well, the in-between bit is you looking further and further and further over till it comes a ball. But that doesn't happen, because it's not a physical edge. You don't have a physical edge to look over. We've got a diffraction limit in the distance based on angular relationships, i.e. what we see, and what they give us in their curve maths is a geometric representation that removes all aspects of what we see. In fact, it completely flips it on its side, 90 degrees, orthographic representation. So you don't have any aspect of what you're seeing. You've got a side-on presentation of one line between you, that you can now see if for some reason you're in the observation now, you can see your own head, and the target, which doesn't change its angular size when you move the maths around, because they attribute a whole number value to it, feet and inches or meters. So it doesn't matter if you have 10-foot walls 3 million miles away or right in front of you, it's still a 10-foot wall and will be run through the maths as such. So perspective's ignored, and the fact that you will open up an angle as you raise in altitude is just calculable through their maths as you seeing further over the edge. Well, no, you're seeing further into the distance because you've opened up your angle.
Hey, can Snowflake Ranty send me his photo?
Snowflake Ranty. I'll have you know I'm a very special snowflake.
Hey, Ranty, can you send that picture you just had with the way you did that with the contrast, please? Can you put that in Master B or somewhere?
I'll consider it, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same thing. It was a good contrast.
It was really good contrast. Sorry for interrupting you. I thought you were going to deal with the actual elevation, the one I was talking about. Sorry about that.
That's all right. While that admin's being sorted out, I'll say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there'll be an after show to follow. Massive, huge, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making this live show possible, and a massive shout out to all the new members and people who smashed the super chat. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
I think that picture needs to be added to the Rolodex of the screenshots, the screensavers you got, Nathan.
Maybe. I need to do a whole bunch of new ones.
Maybe.
Well, it's such a pain in
Maybe.
the ass. Making that was a labour of love, and that's why it's been used so much. But yes, I may get around to actually adding more into the video that plays in the background. My porn
Speaking
bomb
of
protection.
labor of love, go ahead, shout it out.
Well, it's useful. Like the other day, Adam brought up Chris Monk's model, and I just zipped through it and found it and stuck it up on screen so it could be discussed, and the virtues of curving the composite image around, and the fact that you've still got only one line that's being drawn between you and that image, even though you've got this panorama rather than this straight line. And that's all you can have out of orthographic. All that was nicely presented on those slides. But I think you're right, I need to update them and add in a few other bits and bobs that's transpired in the debate since.
And more on labor of love. How about the
Housekeeping
short
questions.
10-minute segments on 9 housekeeping questions?
Yeah, we do need to do that. I do want to do it. I do think about it often now, because it's becoming almost awkward, because we need to get it done.
Well, we better do it before we get to like 15 questions.
Well, I think when we get to 10, we'll end up like either conjoining a couple or pairing out ones that are less relevant. Although that's going to be a tough task, right? They're all relevant.
No, I think they're each good, and eventually it'll be a book.
Hey, since I allegedly ruined Ranty's presentation, can he come back and do that tomorrow?
What do you mean allegedly?
No, the presentation still went out in full. It still was done. It's just, it's not of the type of standard that you'd want to trim out and release as a separate video. That's all.
Listen. I apologize. I didn't mean to ruin his presentation. He talked to me about it the other night. It's outstanding. I'd just like him to do it again. It's kind of slightly a different topic than we were on, but that's okay. Right? I thought you were going to talk about the actual 35-foot observation that was labeled as 1 foot, and then you went off into Walter Bislin. That's all.
Was that the guy himself who mislabeled his picture? Because that was in the video, right?
No, PMLSE 69 mislabeled it.
Yeah, his video. So he mislabeled it himself. That's what I'm saying.
He did. I didn't catch it. It's not a big deal. Like I said, I want to get back to Ranty's point, because he made a good point on the overall theme, because Walter Bislin's calculator, Ranty showed that the horizon doesn't move at all, which is correct. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And you can't have, if that's just one object that they're trying to bring back from beyond that Earth curve, yeah? But what happens when they're trying to bring back 2 or 3 objects? Well, then they have to increase the horizon. But they're not extending, they're not flattening the horizon, they're not giving you that, are they? Because they have to have an edge.
No, they're moving your camera as per the Midwest calculator. So if you look, there's a line above it that says eye line or something like that, and it gets closer to the horizon line. So they're essentially saying that you're tilting your camera. No, you've just got to clear a day. But no, you're tilting your camera. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but they're not putting a horizon beyond that building that they're looming up. It's like, you'd have to have a building Then you'd have to have an extended horizon. Then you'd have to have another building. Then you'd have to have a further extended horizon. But no, because looming, the definition that John brought up, shows that you have to have it loomed up from beyond an Earth curve, from the horizon. It has to be loomed up beyond that. You have to have an edge for it to be loomed up. And that's the point. That was
and
the
only
whole
one.
point.
And only one edge. One physical obstruction at a given distance based on the geometry of the sphere. So it's a physical edge. Beyond that, you might have stuff going on because of refraction. Yeah, maybe. But you've only got one edge. You can't have an edge that suddenly grows beyond what's been loomed and then appears behind. That's nonsense, isn't it? It's because it's not a physical edge.
Yeah, and his calculator amply describes that. They keep their edge. Their edge doesn't change. They don't have a further edge beyond that building because they have to have an edge. It's as simple as that. They can extend it up to the building, but they can't have it extending beyond that that's being loomed up because it has to be being loomed up beyond an earth edge. You know, their horizon. They have to have that.
Yeah, you can't loom an edge.
Of looming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're saying they're looming an edge from beyond the edge. It's just utter nonsense.
Double super looming.
With cherries on top.
Yeah. Well, bottom line is they use the horizon for navigation, right? And in my research, they take the celestial sphere, put the Earth in the middle of a parent celestial sphere where they got all the stars and all the luminaries attached within this made-up celestial sphere. Then they say you choose Polaris. They say draw a line from Polaris through the center of the Earth, and then get your sextant and line it up to the horizon, and then see what angles you find. And then you go through their air almanac and all these different things, so much that I don't want to go into right now. But here's the point. They say, but you've got to flatten everything for it to work, including the celestial sphere. You got to press it down and make it flat. Well, now this is why when you're looking at on a clear day, like that one picture, you see further, and then on a not so clear day, you don't see as far. But the horizon is still flat, no matter how far you're seeing it. So when I consulted a navigator who does sextant teaching classes, this person said to me, the looming and the mirages, that's fine, but make sure that you line your sextant to the horizon no matter how far it is. Some days it's further, some days it's closer, because that's not looming. They know. You get your coordinates from coming up from the horizon, not coming down from the star. That's why they have to flatten everything, because when you do it with your eyepiece, you're coming up from the horizon. It's got to be level. It's a right angle. And that's how you know. So if Polaris is at 90 degrees and you use your sextant and you spot Polaris at 30, you're immediately know you're at 30 degrees latitude because of the horizon coming off of a flat surface. They know. They've just been convoluted with these drawings.
Yeah, I'd like to see that done, by the way.
I'm working on it.
I'd like to see those sextant measurements. I told those guys what their angle from Polaris. And you're right, 10. If they say it's looming, you got a horizon that's looming, which is absolute preposterous ludicrousness, then none of their sextants would work.
Exactly. That's why this guy who does it said the horizon doesn't loom. Basically what you said, only objects can loom.
Hey, Ranty, I still think my photo that I did yesterday is better than yours. Put them close together.
Oh my God. Do you have to turn this into a pissing competition?
I just wanted to put them together. I'm not measuring dicks. I just want them to put them together and see which one. I just want the best one.
Well, first you need to straighten your one out because yours is still wonky. You've just taken a screenshot. I've leveled it out and color adjusted it. So
on the show, Ranty's looked better. It just had a slightly better sharpness to it. He leveled it out and then he adjusted the contrast on the fly. So it's just a case of sit with Ranty with his and go up and down on the slider till you think it looks as good as it should. But I don't know. To my eye, Ranty got it pegged already.
Oh, really?
It's not a pissing contest, John. Don't worry about it.
No, I just want the best one. Ranty, could you do me a favor? I want your best work on that photo you just did, because you did it on the fly. Can you sit down for half an hour and really hammer it, really get it?
I'll have a go.
That's a different
Thank you,
story.
Please forgive me, Your Eminence, Your Worshipfulness. Can you do that for me?
I
think he's talking to you, Ranty.
What do you mean he's not talking to me?
Politely asking, he was like, "Can you do that for me, Your Eminence?"
Yeah, of course I can, yeah.
Thank you. I'll try not to bust into the show anymore when I just first wake up. I'm sorry about that.
It was ace. I had no objections whatsoever. Feel free. Do it more often.
I feel sorry for Arwen. He's had it from everyone the past 24 hours.
Yeah, Arwen has become a bit of a punching bag. It's a bit unfair.
Nathan, and I'm sorry, Arwen. I love Arwen, but what I heard over the past 2 days, I had a little free time because I don't usually watch Jose Retard. But him and Lemonbird, right to hand, I just dismiss him because he's a fucking idiot. But I couldn't believe what I was shocked. I even wrote to Arwen and Master B. I said it was shockingly appalling. And you're right. You know, I'm not trying to control Arwen, but damn, if somebody says Newtonian theory, right, you should stop him right in his tracks. Right?
I think what I got out of that, QE, what you were trying to do, even though it was highly aggressive method, is that when someone says science, you say scientific method or pseudoscience. Now, in the same way, when they say theory, well, then what kind of theory are you talking about? Give us the cowbell.
My point was Newton never proposed a scientific theory in his life.
Precisely.
That's what I'm talking about.
But see, you cut him off at the legs. You cut him off at the legs, and Arwen wants to conceptually get involved.
No. That was, I'll tell you what, you have to listen to it. Yeah, I didn't write everything down like I usually do because I was so pissed. Right, but come on, man.
It's dark times, man. It's the middle of winter. So, you know, this is like fighting amongst ourselves almost.
Yeah,
so what if he goes off and does a bit of freelance bullshitting? So what?
Freelance bullshitting.
Speaking of freelancing, I checked out Continental Plates, Nathan. At the start of the show, there was a big topic, right? They do exist. It's at the Hilton Hotel. It's $8 per person. It's assorted breakfast spreads, fruit preserves, and butter and whole fruit.
That's a tectonic plate. You sure that's not a European breakfast?
Well, they have a deluxe continental for $2 more. That could offer that version.
Oh, it's a continental breakfast. I see.
Come on, lighten up the mood. Food for thought, eh?
Have you seen the Key and Peele continental breakfast skit?
It's got anything to do with the molten iron core, or is this like earlier?
No, it was just because he was talking about continental breakfast.
You can take it from the silence.
It's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
See, when someone does that, you've either got to now match their comic timing and deliver the gags like they did, or there's just going to be massive tumbleweeds because no one knew the skit.
I'll post it.
You still taping?
Yeah.
Is Ranty taping too?
No. Do you want me to tape?
Yeah, I want to leave this one. I'll wait till you're done recording.
Is this an awkward silence or just some random dead air?
Just some random dead air.
Adam posted something on the scientific method in
guys not
Master
hit
B. Maybe
Discord?
we should look at it.
You posted in Master B?
I think
Yeah,
Travis
two-
was trying to talk, I think.
Oh, right. Maybe it's me. I need to refresh Discord. Okay, I'll leave and come back. 10 seconds.
Tell me what you think of this image that I'm going to post in the Master Bees.
Yeah, I'm checking it now. Yeah, maybe I'm getting some bad resolution. 1 second.
Did.
Mic check from Discord over.
Can you hear Travis now?
Yes.
Outstanding. Okay, yeah, I was just trying to say you guys were just touching on the stellar observations. And Nathan, if you can hear my voice, there was a time about a year back or so, maybe a little bit further, where Rumpus was going through his mathematics on his stellar observations to affirm his globe. And you caught him sometime in the maths where he changed his degree of incidence or whatnot, the degree at which the light rays were being, I think it was light rays, were coming in, and he was changing it to contort it to a globe, and it was like 13 or 17 degrees or something. Do you recall that?
Yeah, so the most concise version of this is smokescreen design, where it basically breaks down how they insert the presupposition of the R value into the mathematics when they're making these stellar observations. Now, I think with that particular video, smokescreen design's video, it's a measurement to the moon that's being contested by Red Rhetoric, and Red Rhetoric goes through the maths and does the same thing. He inserts the value and adjusts the angles that he's actually measured to make it comport with his presupposition of a spherical Earth that he's standing on. But yes, I remember it distinctly.
Excellent. Well, I think it's crucial. This show has destroyed gravity, Coriolis, curvature, you name it. And I think one place where it would be good to drop anchor for ample time is to pick this apart. So that's all I wanted to say. That's what I've been trying to get at. And I had a question too to QE if he had already covered this in one of the Ballbusters Big Bang episodes.
Well, let me just address that first. So it does get addressed. So the reason my answer was so short and concise is because it's absolutely been discussed, dissected, and is now a housekeeping question. So any evidence of the R value would be the reason what you're describing is the reason we have that question.
Yes, but at the same time, I've never really heard you guys talk too much about the intentional change of degrees.
But okay,
right, that's crucial.
I get what you're saying. We haven't specifically talked about that particular mathematics in detail, but maybe when I shout, "You're just inserting R" or "You're presupposing R," maybe that doesn't come across. But because I've caught them doing that in the maths and I haven't explicitly broken down their maths and say, right, here is where you're inserting the R value so that you can bend these rays that you're taking measurements from to comport to a sphere. Well, normally in high tension arguments, you don't get that opportunity. You just get the chance to say, "You're begging the question."
Sure. Yeah, but stellar phenomenon and stellar observations is just about all they have left. Am I wrong?
Can I add something to this, or if I'm off, just tell me?
Yeah, you're not wrong, but they have to insert R.
Yeah, precisely, but that's when you paddle their bottoms.
Yeah. You're right. It just sounds like, without causing too much offence, it sounds like the penny has dropped in this regards for you. And you're like, "We must talk about this more." Well, I agree, and 10th Man's got the point that he's been banging on for ages, which we should take 10 minutes for each of these subjects. And when we do for the R value, which typically comes last on the housekeeping list, it would be the case that we'd say, well, what is the R value and how is it being applied? And how can you just point out that when that's done, it's not reasonable? So you're right, it'll be what you're asking for will get covered when we cover the R-value housekeeping question in a 10-minute section, hopefully.
Okay.
Can I pose
That's
a
great
question that
because
might address this and get your feedback?
Yeah, in just one moment. Sure. Go ahead, Travis.
go ahead, 10th man. I can wait.
Well, thanks
And
for the question.
I'm hoping I'm talking to your point if I understood it properly. I'm doing a lot of research now in the celestial sphere and sextant and navigation, and it's amazing what I'm finding out. But here's the thing that I'm seeing. Now, we know that the movement we see is in the sky. The Earth is not rotating. That's what we say. And so I'm watching them, and they're saying the reverse. They're saying because the Earth is rotating, each hour is a 15-degree. So that's 60 minutes is 15 degrees on their grid, longitude, latitude stuff. Every 4 minutes is 1 degree, and 1 minute is a quarter degree on the longitude. So when you see their spherical model, they've got the longitude lines. Each one, that's the north to the south, is the longitude. Each one is 15 degree apart, which makes it an hour. And they say this is why the GMT, now called GHR, Greenwich Mean Time, right there in Greenwich, England, is key to navigation. You got to know what that time is and compare it to your local time. Your local time, you might be in Hawaii or you might be somewhere else. And then you use your sextant to navigate by the luminaries, by the day, the sun, mostly, and in the evening, you got the moon and some of the so-called planets, and then, of course, Polaris. So the movements they got of the 15 degree is because the Earth is turning to them, but we know it's because the luminaries are spinning around us. They've reversed the whole thing, and it's a correct movement, but they're ascribing it to the Earth rotating that's causing it, and we're ascribing it that we are stationary and the luminaries are rotating around us. So see, it works both ways in the sense that it's true to that fact, but where's the start point for them and where's the start point for us? This is devastating. They're going to die real quick here.
Parallax kills them with that, though, doesn't it? Or the lack of?
Yeah, based on the huge amounts of stuff that's going on in various different rotational directions, then yeah, you would expect to see more than you do.
What kills them is when they say, in order for it to work, you have to, and I'm getting excited here, flatten it. That's what kills them. It doesn't work the way they have it. They describe it that way. And then they say, for it to work, you have to flatten it. The Earth is not rotating. They say it. It doesn't work with the Earth rotating, only conceptually.
And with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who did tune in on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Another massive thank you to all of today's Discord and G Plus panels for making this after show possible. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!